This is Elliot Forbes and this is episode number 16 of the Elliot Answers Show. Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. If we're just meeting, my name is Elliot Forbes. I'm a male grooming specialist based in London. This channel is dedicated to hair, beard and grooming tips for the modern man. So if that's something you're interested in, you might want to consider subscribing. So today's question is, 4-month progression, it's growing so slowly. What do you think? Where to go from here? So, well, I'd say 4-month progression. I didn't say it's actually growing that slowly, to be honest. It actually looks like there's a big difference. I take it we're talking about the beard. For me looking at it, that was quite a bit of growth within those 4 months. That now looks like a very full beard. The thing that sticks out with me when I look at this though, it's a combination of the hair and the beard and the way that they can be improved together. So we look at sort of the hair and the beard together and we look at sort of the overall silhouette. It's very narrow through the top and then it comes down very pointed through the chin area in through to the beard. And what this does is, especially then by having a little bit of volume in through the top, it makes the face look very long and very thin. Now, because you're already a very slim gentleman as well, I think the first thing I would do is if we look at the hair, you can see actually at the roundness of the head, that's gone very short and the shortness of sort of the clipper length has gone over the roundness of the head. Now, first off, what I would do is I would then try and grow that out so there's a little bit more of a corner in through there. What that's then going to do is that's going to fill out the head a little bit more through there and actually enable you to style the hair through the top a little bit easier, because I would imagine that's actually really quite hard in through there. You look at it now and it almost looks a little bit like an iced gem, without trying to be too offensive. There's almost an iced gem feel to it in through that top area. So once you've then grown those corners out, you can then start connecting it. Because people, when they start slicking it back and growing it back and through there and pushing it back, they start thinking that it all needs to be long in through there and they need a big disconnection. But that's not really the case. Actually, what you really need is quite long in through sort of a front triangular section, and that can then sit back. But actually it doesn't need to be long in through behind and through there. It doesn't need to be heavily disconnected and tuck up way short so high up. For the face that you've got and the way that your beard is at the moment, definitely I would grow out those corners. That can then fill out that area as a starter. The next step that I would say with the beard, now it's grown in full and it looks very good, but actually it's come down very much into a point in the way that you've trimmed it. So actually you can keep growing this and go longer with it, but I would say actually you need to grow it in a slightly different way. What you've done by the looks of it is it's been getting rid of all the bulk that's underneath, which is great, but the problem with that then is then if you're not careful, you end up eating into this area in through here. So actually it's anything that's sat underneath is bulk and excess, but when you start eating into there, that then starts getting rid of all of the cheeks. All of like the fullness in through here. What you'll find is actually when people then try and sometimes trim it in through the sides, they start eating into here as well. But really what you want to think of it is it being just down the sides as opposed to it then coming round here. Because what you'll do is if you trim it upwards, you're building a corner in through here. But actually once you then start trimming it in through here, you're then rounding off. So actually it then becomes very drawn out in through the chin area. So first off, what I would do with trimming the beard is actually take that up by probably a finger at least, actually. Bring that up by at least a finger's depth in through there. What that straight away is going to do is then have it sit a lot flatter in through the bottom, a little bit more square and a little bit more of strength to it. That's then obviously then just going to decrease the face. But what you then would do, the next step would be to keep growing it, and then you fill out this area a little bit more, because then what that does, that's then going to box it off a little bit more as opposed to it then being in through that way. So basically bring that up, which will then is going to square it off slightly, and then widen it out slightly. So then you can then really start growing it. If you were then to grow it from there, it's just going to keep growing into a real point, which doesn't really work with the rest of the whole look together, to be honest. So there's a few options with that. It definitely needs to be sort of taking a little bit of weight in through there, just where then that's got a little bit wide in through here. But yeah, in terms of the moustache, that looks really well, and you've got a real dense beard, so it looks like that's going to continue to grow really nicely as long as you look after it in the correct manner. So thanks for watching today, guys. If you have any questions at all yourself, please feel free to send me a message. I'm more than happy to help you out. Send me a DM, and if you don't want to be featured on the channel, I will just answer you back through the DMs. So please feel free to send me a message. Have a brilliant day. Much love, Elliot.